think we should be live.
All right.
Let me double let me double check on my end.
Triple check.
Yep. Yes, sir, we are live.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Um, I was very sick last week, so that's why we didn't have a stream. Um,
Hmm.
Caught a really dumb
How are you
virus.
feeling now?
Pretty good, pretty good. I had like all the symptoms except for a sore throat, which I'm kind of happy about because I really hate having a sore throat.
Ugh.
But no, yeah, it just took me like a little over a week to get better. But we
Pumped
are.
up full of Dayquil and NyQuil.
Hmm?
Pumped up full of Dayquil or NyQuil.
Yeah, they actually they gave me some steroids and that brought me back to life.
Ooh,
Yeah, for
nice.
like a few
That
days
helps
and
a lot.
but then after I stopped taking them, I was like pretty tired for like a few days. So,
I
but
can imagine.
anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the markets. Yeah, so this is
Yes.
another weekly market streams. Although I guess we're now calling it mid market check because we do it on Wednesdays, and we're kind of gonna try to keep the Wednesdays streams a little shorter, and then I'm gonna be doing a little more deep dives throughout the week, in non-specific times. But yeah, without further ado, let's start. So I'm still, I guess, like if I wanted to preface like what I'm about to show is by the way, crypto market cap, what are we at right now? We are at 2.64 trillion. So looking pretty good. Let me jump in.
Nice.
Jump into the charts here. So I am, let's say you could call it cautiously like bullish right now on the short term, or just cautious.
Hmm.
I'm gonna show two charts that I think kind of show paint two very different pictures on the short term at least. To me, so let's look at the stablecoin dominance, which again, for those that aren't familiar with this chart, it is the USDT dominance plus the USDC dominance plus the DAI dominance, and which are those are the three major stable coins in crypto. And usually, when the this chart goes down, that means that people are moving into risk and less into stable coins, and usually that is bullish for prices. And right
Hmm.
now, um, we had corrected. By the way, this is Bitcoin down here. And we can see that, for example, we had been kind of dumping since we established that um, little peak up here. What is this on the? This is a 3-day chart. So this is all the way up in March. Actually, let's look at Bitcoin real quick. Just want to make sure that that is when. Yeah, that's when we had our peak. And I'm skipping ahead of myself because this is the next chart I'm gonna show. But basically, um, this is going down as I expected it. Like this is I've had this drawn for a few weeks now,
Hmm.
um, and right now we went down a little bit. It looked like it was maybe correcting, but it actually looks pretty good right now. This is on the Heiken Ashi candles. We could look at it on the regular candles, but I like to look at this on the Heiken Ashi candle because it's already a 3-day chart. Actually, let's go up on the weekly chart. If we look at this on the weekly chart, and by the way, I'm zooming out here just so you can see how I'm drawing all this stuff. But yeah, this is going down, even though it's not going down a ton, but it is going down. And again, this is not something that you trade, like a crypto or whatever. It's moves a little slowly, but it's moving slowly and the bullish direction, you could say. But then if we go to this other chart, if we look at Bitcoin, this is what I think could be happening on the short term because I think we're getting very bullish. There's a lot of reasons to be bullish, honestly, but I feel like a week or two ago, things looked really bad and people were like, oh, calling for a recession. And like, like I kept saying, like there's a lot of reasons I've been saying there's a lot of reasons to be bullish. Um, there's also a few reasons to be cautious. And especially there's a lot of, I don't want to say confusion, but like uncertainty in the markets. Like if we remember from 3 or 4 weeks ago, um, the DXY and gold were both going up. So actually, we can just look into that real quick. So this is on the daily chart, and this is Bitcoin.
Hmm.
Bitcoin's going up, right? As of now. Um, this is the S&P 500, which is going up. This I think this candle is a lot has to do a lot with Nvidia, which Nvidia um I think went to all-time highs. I can let me show Nvidia real quick actually. Um, it's funny, but before we started the stream, I said we weren't going to talk about stocks, but let's just look. Let's
Here we are.
here we are. Let's look at that real quick. Yeah, so that is a fresh all-time high. This is on the weekly chart, but
Wow.
I think that was today. We can check. Yep, that was today. But yeah, fresh all-time high from Nvidia. Fucking what is it like $2 trillion at this point or something like that? Um, but
They're
yeah,
doing quite well.
they're doing quite well. It's funny, like I between my wife and I think we sadly only have like 2 shares of Nvidia, but those are up like tremendously because we've been holding it for
Hmm.
like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, just
Wow.
our mother-in-law was like telling us to buy more, and we bought more Bitcoin instead, which I am not sad about, but you know, would have been nice to sell some Nvidia into Bitcoin. That's what
Yeah.
that would have been nice, but sorry about that. Yeah, so S&P, new all-time fresh all-time. This is an all-time high, right? Yeah, this is an all-time high. Gold, gold's going up, but it is not going up like it's not making all-time highs or anything. And actually, the dollar is going down, which we like to see, for Bitcoin pump purposes.
Hmm.
But yeah, so basically going back to this, just to show you guys how I've been drawing this. These two lines, just by the way, these two lines here, the blue and darker blue line are the bull market support band. Which again, to remind people, these are the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. Which usually during a bull market, these are the price doesn't go under this line usually. Um, so yeah, from this point on, which was October of 2023, so like end of last year roughly, I have been tracking these lines here, and so far, even though we've only had one point of contact in this, where I marked with the dollar sign happy faces, we went right above this line.
Hmm.
We didn't actually cross it or anything, so it basically held strong as a support. And yeah, we've
Okay.
like from this top that we established here at 73. What was it? 73 and three quarters, roughly 73K and three quarters. From then on, we still haven't gone back up. But remember, this was before the halving, which was pretty significant. This is also, I think, probably was due in part to the excitement of all the inflows of Bitcoin because spotted Bitcoin ETFs and all that.
Hmm.
Then excitement goes down a bit, and then prices just correct. I remember during all this time, um, altcoins kind of just nuked. But one thing that I did find interesting, and actually, if we can, let me pull up here. What is it, Solana? Yeah, so if we pull up Solana, for example, let me add Bitcoin on top. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. But yeah, let me add Bitcoin here on a new price scale. Perfect. Yeah, make sure this is log. Okay, so what is this on the daily? If we look at Bitcoin, when did Solana dump super hard? It was here. Yeah, it dumped to like one. What was this? Like 118. Yeah, so it dumped to like 118, which was pretty darn low from like what was this high? Like 210. So we went to 210. When was this? March of 2024, which was actually pretty close to the all-time high, which was 260 something. But yeah,
Hmm.
so the interesting thing that I want to point out here is that altcoins put in like their nasty low here, and then Bitcoin put in its low here, and then altcoins kind of didn't really put in a lower low. Like, what was this? This was 119. So I guess Solana technically did put in a lower low, but it was like $1. So like I don't really count that. And then let's look at
Sure.
Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum did, just out of curiosity. So Ethereum, its lowest point was here at 2770, and this was before Bitcoin put its lower low. So that that to me, I remember noticing that, and that kind of gave me a little bit of optimism because usually as Bitcoin tumbles, altcoins tumble harder. Um, because usually people, like that's just the nature of altcoins. Like Bitcoin is a much bigger asset, and especially it's grown a lot bigger in the last few years, and now with all the institutional investment, it's not gonna dump 40 to 60% in like a month or so. Like it's just not gonna do that. But altcoins will, and like what was this? This was let me make this a little bigger. This was that was a that was a little over 30%, which is nuts.
Mm.
Like it's nuts. In how long was this? In a month, 1 month, it dumped a little over 30%. Like that's kind of nuts. And actually, later on in the stream, we're gonna look into meme coins and we're gonna see how this is peanuts. But um,
In the grand scheme of things, at least.
in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But basically, like this showed me a little bit of strength here. Like that, altcoins kind of dumped a few days before Bitcoin hit like did its like lowest dump, which was at
Is it a bit of
50.
a precursor?
I think so. I think so. And so far, we have not established a lower low, even though Ethereum looked like it really wanted to, and Solana technically did, like by a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if you look at other exchanges, it might not even be a lower low. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, and also for example, like actually, I guess now that we're on Ethereum, you see this as this monster candle here. This was when the Ethereum
Yeah.
rumors, Ethereum like spot uh ETF rumors like came out, and then it was actually confirmed, and then it's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news type of news, because type of
Mm-hmm.
event. Um, because did I say that right? Buy the rumors, sell the news. Yeah.
I'll
Um,
take your word for it.
yeah. But yeah, so we haven't really done that much. Although, what is this? This is the upper upper band of my bearish Bollinger Band, which, by the way, if you don't know what this is, it is the
Mm-mm.
100, the 100 length of 100, standard deviation of one for the top of this Bollinger Band. Just so if you want to know. But yeah, it's kind of holding this, which I think is pretty bullish. I mean, I think Ethereum's gonna go up. Like the spot ETFs haven't even, or the ETFs. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're spot, but the ETFs haven't even started. Like they're just in process. Um,
When will they? What's the time frame on that?
I'm not sure actually. It might take a few weeks to a few months. I'll have a better answer on that because I haven't really heard too much from that, aside from the
Okay,
fact that a bunch of them were approved.
I
Um,
see.
but yeah, that's like I think the market's giving us a lot of signs of things being bullish.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let me pull out this chart.
I love that chart.
I like this chart too, and I think it's nice to look at, but it's also, it kind of just tells us what's happened before and what we can expect to happen. So again, real quick, there's usually a pump pre-halving, and there's a pump after the halving. Usually, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see the action in the first the first 90 days. You'll see things after the halving. My bad. Like first 90 days after the halving, you'll see things like slowly start to come up. Usually the first month or two is like kind of boring. So like for example, here in November 2012, um, like the month of the halving, and then the month after we went up, but it was like nothing happened. Then
Yeah.
here like the month of the halving of July 2016, and then the month after we actually dumped a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it was not much happened. And then we slowly started going. Like it took 3 months for us to like substantially start going up, and then on the fourth month is when we had like a bigger candle, and then the next candle after
Mm-hmm.
that was like pretty volatile. So like it took some time to ramp up. Basically, like
Yeah.
it took over 6 months to like you know clearly show it's like, oh my god, okay, like we're actually going up, and then we had this monster candle, and then it was kept having candle up candles pretty much. Here was this May 2020, same thing, like the month of the halving, not much happened. It was a pretty small month in terms of like price movements. The month after that was actually a red month, even though it was again not a lot, and then we started going up a little more substantially. So where are we now? We had a down month for the month of the halving. We had a little bit of an up month for the month after. Now we just started like a few days ago. We just started the month after that, and it's so far it's green, but it's again not much has happened. It's still I've been hearing some people on like Twitter and like on YouTube say like, oh, Bitcoin's a stable coin right now, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Like, if you look at this, like
Feels like it.
not much has happened. Like, yes, we are at 71, which is I think it's nice. It's very good. Like right now, like I said, the bull market support band is still intact. By the way, this
You
line,
see it out of the 60s.
huh?
Been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Like basically, even though we have been going up, it's been a lot of chop. One day we go up a lot, and then like chop. One day we go up, and then chop. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been frustratingly bullish, basically. Um, Also, just to illustrate what this is, um, this is the pi cycle top indicator, which the bottom line is the 111-day moving average, and then the green line up here is the 350-day moving average times two. Um, and that you this before like historically has sometimes worked for Bitcoin. Either it worked as a point where like the price reaches and then it kind of tops around there, or a point where it flips that line, turns it into support, and then goes up aggressively after that. And I personally believe that that's what we're going to do eventually in a few months. Um,
Why do
I
you believe so strongly that that's the way it's going to go?
Well, it's just right now. So there's a lot of talk about, for example, like that the last bull market was kind of capped in terms of its potential. The
Hmm.
institutional, and the reason I say that is because there was a lot of trickery going on in the system
Yeah.
with like banks failing and like
Remember them.
bad actors like FTX and others like
Hmm.
fucking around with prices and so causing like events that probably didn't need to happen. And not just that, like the institutional interest of 2024 is much bigger than the institutional interest of um the last bull market. It's just a lot
Hmm.
bigger. Like basically, in my opinion, before um in that bull market, like there was a lot of interest, like there was a lot of retail interest, but institutions were still like like, is that scam money, like Bitcoin, is it real money, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not something that was talked about that much. Like for example, I think we talked about this in the last stream. You can see, for example, like in the United States, there's more crypto owners than there are dogs. I think I mentioned this. Sorry, not that there are dogs, that there are
Yes.
dog owners.
You're
Um,
right. I remember that statistic.
yeah, and like for example, like right now, Joe Biden and his campaign had to basically do a 180 in making sure that people don't perceive that they are anti-crypto in any way, because Donald Trump and his campaign started like basically going like aggressively pro crypto, and that was getting a lot of traction. I mean, like
Mm.
realistically, like if for example, if let's say we get to November and like Biden and his campaign for some reason decides to be very like strongly anti-crypto, he might lose the election because of that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of like people that just are just worry about their financial freedom and stuff like would not want to vote for someone that wants to or either like just ban the crypto or not put forward not promote like common sense regulations, because like that's ultimately like that's kind of what a lot of like the big crypto companies want, like not just like not to be the not be the Wild West, just kind of. And
Right.
I hate to quote Donald Trump, but like he was saying that the U.S. should be a leader on crypto stuff, and I agree with
Uh,
that. I agree with that.
so, okay, so here's the question then.
Hmm.
What happens when that politicalization of crypto enters the heads of everyone who's just not even worried about it right now? Suddenly it's on their minds and they want to buy into it. Like, what kind of effects will we see? Is it just going to boom? Is this going to be a really positive thing that it becomes? more normal that people are investing into crypto?
Well, I think it's already
What are
normal.
the
Like
effects?
if you look at, for example, one
Like,
way. What do you mean?
I don't know, maybe just like where I come from,
Hmm.
like the counties I lived in growing up, it's a lot of like backwoods kind of rednecks and such who would the last thing they would want to do is be invested in some kind of cryptocurrency. But if I know a lot of it is like a lot of right wing counties and such, if they start seeing Donald Trump say, yeah, like this is the future, like they're probably going to start
I
buying
mean,
into it
Donald
and stuff
Trump
like that.
has two NFT collections, not one, two NFT collections. They're
Yeah.
garbage. Don't buy them.
So,
But like, dude, he has two. Like, that's big. You know, like,
right.
even if you're a Republican that like doesn't know a lot about like crypto and stuff, you've at least heard about Trump's stupid NFTs, or at least like him.
Yeah.
You've probably heard him recently talk about, like, hey, we're pro crypto. Like
Hmm. Well,
I can't see this like doing anything but like positive in terms of like crypto, like expansion and like
that's what I'm
awareness.
saying too, like, and I feel like that's a great thing, like, even if it is just, like, more people are becoming aware of it, I guess it's better for those who have been in it for a little while, they're gonna see, like, an extra little boom, right?
Yeah. No, I mean like basically. Hold up, let me plug in my headphones. No, yeah, like I think this is obviously it's good for everyone. Like it's good for people like me
Yeah.
that are already invested. I've been in since like the bear market, and I've been still getting in when there's dips and stuff. Or for
Mhm.
people that are new and like don't have any and want to get started and stuff, like it's just I just it's just gonna be good. And but again, like I said, the retail interest is gonna come back. Like when people see prices go up, people wanna ape it, and like that's human nature of like people that aren't like investors or people that check on this like all the time like I do. But
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day that's not gonna matter that much. Like like in retail is gonna FOMO into whatever is making money. It's perceived to make money. The real money is coming from institutions. The real money is coming from pension funds, for example. I think if I forget if it was either Arizona or Texas or some, I forget what state. Wisconsin. There was a pension fund, either the agency that manages the pension funds or one pension fund specifically. I forget the exact details, but they started buying. Like they got a pretty big position in one of the Bitcoin ETFs. And they're not the only ones. Like there's many pension funds that are looking into doing this, into buying Bitcoin to hedge the risks and make sure that in like 30 to 40 to 50 years, their pension funds aren't like fucked, and like young people are able to like pull money out, of their retirement accounts and stuff, rather than like having it be gutted for like the growing older generation.
Right, right.
So like that's one.
So
Uh-huh.
so I guess, like, that energy might feed off each other, right? Then, like, if it's becoming more popularized with people, then you'll have more pension funds buying into it, right? Like, you're going to get a lot of the larger players buying into it just because of the popularity increase that we're definitely going to see over the course of this year.
Yeah, yeah, and like there's already like a lot of for example, analysts that have talked about like if just like a 0.5% of like the retirement accounts, for example, of like Fidelity and like managed by either Fidelity or like Vanguard or something like that, were to go into
Hmm.
Bitcoin, which they already, at least Fidelity already allows for a percentage of your retirement account to be in crypto if if you so want it to be.
Yeah.
Um, just if 0.5% of all of those accounts allocated like to Bitcoin, that would pump the price like to well above 100K from like current levels. And that's just one
Pretty
thing,
good.
like again,
Yeah.
we're also seeing like whales have been buying a lot, like again, like Invest Answers talks about like Mr. 100, for example. Sometimes he comes in
Hmm.
and he buys multiples of like the daily issuance, which again we had a halving
It's Jeff
recently.
Bezos.
It could be, or it could be, honestly, it could be like an oil rich country or something like that. That's,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that's a potential, because this whoever's buying has a fuck ton of money. Um, but yeah, so like there's all these big institutions that are already starting to dabble in. Um, we have the Ethereum ETF. We might get a Solana ETF at some point. It's probably going to happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen this year or anytime soon. But if we got an Ethereum ETF, we're probably going to get a Solana ETF at some point, and I am very excited for that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Because this whole time I've been going to Solana instead of Ethereum.
Yeah, yeah, and
Um,
yeah, not financial advice, but that is also what I've been doing. I mean, like, full disclosure, like during the bear market, that's kind of the main thing I wasn't really buying anything else. Like, I was just buying Solana, and that was a good decision.
so okay, so I got a question. Uh, Given all of this,
hmm
where do we see this market in 5 years? Is that too much of a hard question to ask?
No, no, no. Um, this current market, we're probably gonna see the market cap, the total market cap pump to anywhere between 6 and 15 trillion. More than that, I don't know, but 5 years. So 5 years from now, that's 2029. That's roughly like
Hmm.
2030. I think um I think that we could, like, the numbers, like we're headed to 100 trillion, like, in terms of like market cap. And like things are just going to
Wow,
be like bananas, um in like five. Like I feel like it's hard to like gauge of like how big things are going to get in
I
five
know.
in 5 years, just because, like, like the trend is exponential. So I mean, I
Hmm.
like we talked about, I think last time, like Raul Paul made like a really nice video explaining, like, I think the one where he talked about like the art of taking profits, like
Yeah.
basically, like, over time, it goes down low, it establishes higher lows, and it makes higher highs. That's just kind of what it does.
Hmm.
And more people are getting on boarded. Like, countries are, we still only have one country that accepts it as legal tender, and we have, many other countries that are on the verge. Like, probably in the next 5 years, we're definitely probably going to have the next one or two countries that, like, we're probably going to have the first five countries that accept Bitcoin as legal tender. Like, it's happening. Like, Argentina's
Do you
probably going
think
to
that'll
do it.
like ramp up faster too as it starts to happen? Like you'll get chunks of countries
Yeah,
accepting
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
instead of just like one at a time.
That's
Yeah.
what that's why I said in the next 5 years we'll probably already have our first five countries that accept
Hmm.
Bitcoin, like, as legal tender. Like, you can send your bank fucking Bitcoin, and your bank can you can borrow against your Bitcoin, like, with your bank. Like, I don't know if that specifically is gonna happen in the next 5 years, but
Maybe 10.
at least in those countries where it is legal tender, that's probably what's gonna, what we're gonna be seeing. We're gonna be seeing basically glimpses of the future in those countries. I'm
Wow.
I'm actually not sure how they do it in El Salvador. Like, I'm assuming that banks probably just allow you to deposit and withdraw Bitcoin. I don't know if they let you lend
Hmm.
against it or whatever, but it's already pretty big. So yeah, like, this thing is only catching on a little more. But yeah, so this is what I think might be happening in the short term. I think it might look like we're gonna, like, right now, in my opinion, I don't know if until we break, like, the like 74K, like, boundary, like, if we, like, establish ourselves in like the 75K area. I think at that point I might be like, all right, we're probably not gonna break this. We're probably gonna go up
Yeah.
more. And at that point, I'd probably switch to like more short term bullish, um, and just think that we're probably gonna make a run for somewhere around this line. So I would.
So what would you do
Mhm.
in that short-term bullish atmosphere? Do you
So
continue investing a certain amount?
um, I mean, obviously, if you're someone that's still DCAing, uh,
Yeah.
probably a good thing to do would be, like, to lower your DCA if we're going up, and then just
Hmm.
just just wait for things to cool down, and then, like, it depends on what your time horizon is, and, like, what you're doing. Like, if you're DCAing to sell in 2030, doesn't fucking matter. Like, just keep
Yeah,
DCAing.
yeah.
But if you can be a little smart with your DCA, like, DCA a little heavier,
Hmm.
when we're in a downtrend and stuff like that, then, like, I personally plan to get out a good amount, if not most of it, at the top of the bull market, and then just try to hold on to that cash. Basically, do the difficult thing of like trying to get back in near near the bottom. But
Mhm.
but yeah, like right now, for example, this um the trend of the gold line indicator is very bullish. Actually, we you kind of tapped it as support, and we've been going up still. So yeah, like right now, like the only reason I'm cautious is I just want to see what happens here. Like I'm a little worried that we're just gonna go tumble down a little bit, and by a
Yeah.
little bit, I'm not expecting anything crazy. Like what is this? Let's say we go down here and we go, oh, let's say this whole move happens. That is a minus 13%. Like I feel like that would be good to scare people a little bit. Maybe like spend a few days, get people scared, be like, oh, like I really want to start hearing people be like, oh, 73.7K was the top. Oh my god, we topped. I want to hear that. I,
Yeah.
I want to I want to hear that shit. And that's when I that's when I be comfortable like leveraging like Bitcoin, for example. Like I have not during this whole move up, I have not like wanted to touch Bitcoin, like leverage Bitcoin up, simply because
Mhm.
I just want to see like a clear, like, oh, whoo, like, a little bit of a down move like here, just to kind of, I guess, wrap up this fucking pattern and then go up
Mhm.
decisively. Like I want to see that. I don't know if it will happen, but that's kind of what I'm looking for me to like, be a little more ballsy and leverage in. Um, some things that I wanted to mention before we go and look at and talk about meme coins. Today was a very good day for Bitcoin spot ETF flows. There was almost $900 million of inflows today, just today. So almost $1 billion of
Wow.
inflows went in to the ETFs, which is the second highest day since the ETF started, which is really big. It's like a lot more than the daily issuance of Bitcoin, and obviously we're assuming that other people bought too. It wasn't just the ETFs, so
Mhm.
it's pretty fucking big. Um, then what's the other thing? Also, this is from a few days ago, but one interesting fact is that the iShares BTC Trust is actually the fastest ETF to reach $20 billion. Yeah, so like took even less than five
Wow.
months to like reach 20 billion. Like that, it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, let's look at Bitcoin dominance real quick just to see what it's doing. In my opinion, so this is the daily chart. I think Bitcoin dominance is broken down, and I think I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's going to recover and go up and like anymore. I think I remember seeing some people on YouTube say that they think we're gonna go back to like 60% or something like that. I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
Let me zoom out here. Like if you zoom out, like maybe I don't know. Maybe you could say that this might go up a little. It could go up a little bit more, but to me this seems like it might be finally breaking down, and it might not
Mhm.
saying that altcoin season is going to happen. I'm just saying that I might be breaking down. Let's look at ETH BTC. So what is ETH BTC doing? Let's look at it on the 3-day chart. What is this? Yeah, ETH BTC again. We talked about this last time. Was looking like it was on life support, and then it's kind of not after the Ethereum news and Ethereum pumping super hard and whatnot. However, um, if we zoom out a little bit, it's still kind of struggling in my opinion. So am
Mhm.
I would still personally not really like unless you were already in Ethereum before the pump. Like congratulations if you rolled that pump up, you earned it. Take some profits. Move it back to Solana. Honestly, that's my take. Like this still looks
That's
pretty.
reassuring.
It still looks pretty bad in my opinion. Like this is come on. Like let's look at this. Let me change the color. So, and this still looks pretty bad. Like this is still a nasty, nasty downtrend since September 2022. It's been over a year since this thing's been on a downtrend against Bitcoin. Like this is disgusting. Um, Now let's look at Ethereum. Sorry, so Solana over Bitcoin. It's a very different story. Um, if we look at what is this since like 2021, yeah, obviously like it was in a pretty nasty downtrend here. Um, Pretty much all the way from 20 end of 2021 to end of 2023, but then it's kind of just been going up. It's been going up since here. Yeah, if we draw it that way, if we draw it this way, I don't know. You could say it's in a little bit of a danger zone right now, but it's still up. You know,
Yeah.
it's still up basically compared to the ETH BTC chart, which just looks disgusting. Again,
Hmm.
ETH BTC is gonna recover. Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying this is gonna just like keep going down to like fucking zero. I'm not saying that. It's there's probably gonna be at some point where it's gonna be a breakout, and then it's gonna start getting better. But this chart looks a lot better to me because like again, I'm not expecting this to come back down anytime soon. So it's even if it corrects a little bit, it's doing better than Ethereum. That's all I'm trying to say. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Solana is the faster horse. Point. Enough said. Um, Now, I guess for sorry, the last thing I wanted to look at for this particular stream, we're already almost at 40 minutes, is meme coins. Um, I don't know. I feel like I've been having like a bit of a shift in terms of like how I see meme coins.
Oh
Um,
man.
I I feel like I've kind of accepted like they're a part of the crypto market, and I feel like if you wanna, it's just another way to make money basically. I don't like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like them. They have no utility. They're stupid, but I want to just show you like kind of what I've been observing. So I've been looking at the meme coin on the 5 hour chart. I guess let me look at what is this? Let's look at the top two real quick. Doge and um here. Let me get this off
What's
here.
the other top one?
Doge and Shib. There we go. Okay.
With.
These so I'll get to those. I'll get to those. But
Okay. All
let's
right.
let's look at the OG ones. So these are the ones that have been in the
Mhm.
space. Actually, Dogecoin, I think Dogecoin is older than Ethereum. It's either older than Ethereum or it's like about as old as Ethereum. So it's a very old coin. Um, if we look at Dogecoin, for example, Dogecoin is I usually I like to look at the Vumentru like market cipher and use that. I don't pay attention to everything. I just kind of pay attention to what the waves are doing here, and then the money flow. Like all the other stuff, you don't really need to pay attention too much, in my opinion, for meme coins, just because of how aggressively they move. But right
Mhm.
now, Dogecoin, is still looking pretty bad in terms of money flow. Although I mean, like it has pumped pretty respectably, and like it at least like and also the gold line indicator is positive, so that's good too. And then Shib, which is the other, I guess you could call OG, like meme coin, is also kind of holding strong there. It didn't really turn the trend didn't turn negative. It's still up, although not by a lot. But the real thing that I
Yeah.
wanted to show here is just what one thing I've been noticing. So one of the ways that I've been noticing on how potentially to play these coins on the several hour time frame. So like 5 hour, 6 hour, like between the 4 and 6 hour, like you can play around with it. But let's actually like let's look at this with whiff. So if you don't know what
What does
this
that
is,
stand for again?
dog whiff hat. Yeah, it sounds really dumb, but it is a doggy coin, and those usually pump. So one thing that I've been noticing here, um, I drew some lines here. So basically, you want to look at the money flow. Like I said, the money flow is important to look at, and usually, so what is this is the like -60 and +60 line for these waves, and I'd basically just wait for the waves to either touch or cross these boundaries, and that's
Hmm.
at least like right now we're in a bull market, so I'm kind of just waiting for the waves to correct down for me to buy in. And again, these are meme coins or shit coins. Like the way they pump is really aggressive. So I, unless you really know what you're doing, you have like an algorithm or a back tested strategy or something.
Yeah.
Don't go into leverage with. I'm not going into leverage with this. Like I'm just throwing a small percentage of my portfolio into this. And basically like I get in and then I just wait for the chart to look better. And vice versa. So like here, for example, I'm just like marked a bunch of like different entry points. So for example, here, like I would have looked at looked at this chart and kind of just tried to see where um it looks like the move is kind of like more than halfway done. So like obviously
Hmm.
hindsight is 2020, but I would have wanted to see the move kind of like dump a little bit here. Obviously, you want to check what Bitcoin's doing. You want to check what the top altcoins are doing. So you want to look at Solana, Ethereum, see what they're doing, and
Yeah.
you kind of you go from the top dogs, and then you go down, and that kind of so for example, if Bitcoin looks like it's still in a wedge, then that might tell you that maybe we're not going up too hard. So like even though meme coins tend to pump before other things pump, if for
Hmm.
example if like Bitcoin isn't doing like too well, or like the top altcoins aren't doing like super well, um like the rest of the market isn't just gonna pump like by itself. So
Yeah.
you know basically don't be stupid, just look at other things, and then kind of look into all these
Be
like
cautious.
be cautious. Yes, be cautious, but basically yeah, here again the little mountain went under the -60 line. So anywhere here would have been fine. I mean, if you caught anywhere in this wick, that was even nicer. But yeah, let's just say
Hmm.
you bought here. So uh, you bought here, and let's just say you waited. Let's say you were just cautious and you waited for the mountain to go back to the middle. Let's say you didn't even wait for it to go up. You made 26%. Here, again, you let's say I guess that this wouldn't have been an entry because the mountain didn't go under the -60 line. But let's say you got in here, and again the same thing.
Hmm.
You were super cautious. You waited for it to go just back to the middle line, which you don't need to do, but 20%. You could have probably done a little better. Then
Yeah.
if you go back here again, like you wait if you were very patient, you waited for the mountains to cross the line, and then they actually did here. Anywhere around here, let's say you got in here, and again let's say you wait to the mountain to just reach back the middle. That was a nice 13%. And if you waited more, which I would have been greedy and waited for the mountain to go near this line here, you would have made an
Hmm.
easy 20%, 20ish percent. You could have waited even longer, and that would have been a 40% move. Which again,
Wow.
like don't feel bad if you didn't catch the whole move, because like these things move, you know, through the power of stupidity and the internet. So
What a
base
wonderful thing.
yeah, can't complain. Just make money and be happy. Same thing here. We tap the line. Same thing. You get in. Let's say you wait. You were cautious. You only waited to get back to the middle line. And actually, that was the strat here. 18%. Let's go back here. Go under the line. Say you get in here. Go back to the middle. Go back to the middle. That's a little over 10%. And if you had waited a little longer, boop, 25%. So again, the safest way to play this is probably just you know go in with as much capital as you can. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously, while making sure that it's not a I guess a life threatening amounts of your portfolio, and ideally with no leverage. And then you just if you want to play it the safest way, you go from like the mountain under the bottom range to the middle, and then we keep doing that. So right now, Dogwif had little mountain peak to the line here. So right now, if we had just moved to the where the mountain reached the middle, that was almost a 10%. And The move actually went up a little more, so it went up to like almost 15%. So I have been looking into other shit coins to just see if we could replicate that. And
Yeah.
full disclosure, I got into bonk like around here, and
Wow.
I put in a multiple of 420 because you gotta have fun with these things. And
Incredible.
basically, yeah, I got in around here, and I'm kind of just waiting for it to like this. If this corrects down again, I might if it goes down under where I bought, I might buy some more. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, pretty much just kind of waiting to do the same. Um, I think that given that Bitcoin is recovering and like altcoins haven't put in a lower lows like from what I mentioned, like Bitcoin put in its lower low, but altcoins didn't. I think that we're just seeing a lot more strength from that point on, and
Hmm.
this is why I'm being a little greedy and holding past the middle point. But you don't have to do that. Like if you bought from where I was and like you went up here, you could have just sold and that would have been how much? Let's see. That would have been like a nice 8%. That's not nothing to scoff at for a day or two. You know.
Yeah. Pretty
So
good.
so basically, yeah. This is obviously I would fully recommend if you're gonna try stuff like this. Ideally, back test it. Like if you know a little bit of Python, use some backtesting library and like just code this up. You can download. Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but you can download the chart data, especially since it's like the 5 hour. It's not gonna take up too much, and you can probably get up until like last year or like 1 to 2 years, depending on which premium account you have. I think I have like the premium one or like the most premium or whatever. But basically,
Yeah, yeah.
you can download this data either here on TradingView or if you're willing to spend like half an hour or whatever, you can ask ChatGPT on how to query the Binance API, and then you can just download that using Python. So it's not that hard. You
Mm.
just got to work for it. It takes maybe like half an hour to an hour. Um, but yeah, let's quickly look at the other two that I am personally either invested in or looking into. So Pepe, I did a very nice trade with Pepe.
Yeah,
um,
unbelievable, honestly.
yeah, so with Pepe, where did I get in? I think I got in with Pepe around here, and like I got out around here. So I am very happy with that trade. I just the only thing I just wish I had put more money into that trade. um, but I'm very happy with the results of that trade. I did get back in like around this area, so I basically just let it dump a 10% because I thought I got back in by a very small amount. I thought it's like hey, it looks like it might be recovering. Like the money flow
Mm.
doesn't look like it's gonna go down too much, and it hasn't really. It's kind of just teetering, and this looks like it's gonna.
Yeah,
It looks like it might go back up. So I was like, let me just put a little bit of the gains back in. And but most of those gains, I'm actually waiting to put them back into Andy. So Andy is if if you don't know about Andy, I think Pepe's contract starts with like 0x69, I think, or 68, and Andy's contract starts with one of the other two, either 68 or 69, and which is just it's a funny coincidence. And I think like the creator that of Pepe also created Andy and like a bunch of other cartoons, and they're like part of the same universe, I think, or some shit like that.
hmm.
I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Like it's I don't give a fuck. Like, but basically, it's one of the newer coins. Actually, let's look at the well. I guess let me just show you why I'm looking into this one too. Like, basically, it moves like a fucking demon. Um, if you look at these swings, like look at these monster swings, minus
Wow.
56%, minus 45, minus 45, minus 49. Here, I am currently waiting. This thing pumped into oblivion, like a few, like in the last few days, and I didn't. I had the strength to not ape in because I really wanted to. I really wanted to buy in, but I was like, this is not my strategy. Money flow's going up.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into this right now, and I don't have the
Hmm.
balls to short something like this in a bull market. Like I just don't have the balls to do that.
Sure.
So I'm kind of. I was like, this is gonna dump at some point, and it's been doing exactly that. So it's already
Good call,
dumped.
man.
Yeah, it's already dumped to minus 36%. So actually, right now there is a green dot showing here. If this green dot confirms, I might put some money in just in case we go back in, but I kind of really want to I really want to see it go back down to the level that I talked about for the other shit coins. So yeah,
Mhm.
the main reason I'm looking into this one, it's a much smaller coin. Actually, let me go and let me show you guys in Coin Market Cap what I am talking about. So let's look at the memes and the yep. But yeah, so Andy, the market cap is $222 million, which is not a lot. It's not a lot. Like if you compare it to the other shitcoins that we just looked at. So let's Dogecoin. Dogecoin. Can you see this by the way? Let me make this bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Dogecoin is 23 billion. Billion. That's $23 billion. It's number 8 in the whole
Wow.
crypto market fucking space. Shiba Inu is 15 billion in market cap. Like many stocks don't have like such a big market cap, or most companies don't have such a big valuation. So it's kind of insane. So Pepe, actually Pepe is the if you're looking at meme coins, is the top three. That one has $6.3 billion market cap, with 3.4. And Bonk is a 2.3. There's a bunch of other shitcoins that we're not going to talk about, but yeah. So if we look at Andy, Andy is actually not even in the top 100. It's top 300. It's like almost it's ranked 300 actually. It's 291, which I like. I personally, I like to invest in smaller coins, that are doing similar things to the bigger coins. And yeah, like Andy, I think it's just one that has a good amount of potential. Yeah, like I said, the market cap is a fraction of the other shit coins. So I just think it has a lot of potential, and the chart
Mhm.
shows like that. The movements are kind of nuts. So basically, just catching even one or two good moves from up and down with Andy, it's bound to just increase your positions like a lot harder than a few more trades with like other slower assets. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to look at. Pretty much that's how I'm personally trading uh meme coins, just basically looking at them on the 5 hour chart and kind of just using the Fu Manchu indicator. This is a free indicator that you can get on TradingView. um no need to pay for the market cipher thing, it's like the same thing. um but yeah, have fun with these things. Don't be stupid though. And having said that, I think that concludes our markets midweek market check. Thank you everyone so much for being a part of this, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next stream.
Thanks for guiding us through the storm.
Well, the storm, it's gonna be a good storm, I think.
All right, with that.
All right, well, good night, everyone.
Good night.